Continuing part two. This is Jared Bridegan's widow. She's talking about Jared's overdue. He's now been the hitman that supposedly, this is how what the state is saying, is his ex-wife and her current husband got a hitman, paid him to place a tire in the road, so he would have to stop his vehicle on the way home and remove the tire from the road. And when he did, he was ambushed, and he's now overdue. And his wife's been calling, his widow here has been calling him, and he's not answering his phone because he's passed away. And now she's gotten in the car to go look for him. So that's where we're picking up from. I did another video, and that's we're just picking up where we left off. And we're going to learn some things about relationships. That's what I do. Use criminal cases, learn about relationships. And one thing that, just my personal opinion, that she was in her epiphany phase, his widow, and she was looking for, a beta male provider to give her a son, or not son, but give her kids, sorry. And she got her 2 kids, and this is what they call date night. And date night was the ex-wife and basically the divorced parents, her husband, and his ex-wife. Basically, they get a day. Wednesday was the day that they would get to be able to spend with their kid. So, like, let's say the ex-wife, she would get to spend the day, the night, with the. I think they had twins, and so they would spend the night, and they would go out and do something. And they agreed to, have that every Wednesday. So one Wednesday would be the ex-wife, and one Wednesday would be the ex-husband. He would get the kids, and they called it date night with the kids. And this young lady had, she's now his current wife, and she used to go on date nights and hang out with her stepchildren and his children. And after she had her 2 kids, she stopped going. And that's a key factor. I'm telling you, as a learning lesson, that's a key factor. She blames it on busy, postpartum depression, whatever. No, it's, I'm tired of your stepkids. And this is, I pointed out in another video, is men and women are averse to kids that are not your own, because it's, you are wasting energy into a genetic stock that ain't yours. It's biological. Anyway, let's go.
Was that person a police officer?
Yes, it was.
She can't even cry, though. I really have a hard time. Anyway.
And after you spoke to that police officer, where did you drive to?
They told me to come to the Jacksonville Beach Police Department, and that's where I drove to.
There's no crying. Her husband's dead in the street. I mean, this is what she's remembering.
When you arrived at the police department, did somebody advise you that your husband had been shot and killed on Sanctuary?
No, it was actually quite frustrating because they wouldn't tell me anything. I saw my daughter, and she was okay.
See, that's why
I asked over and over and over, and they would not tell me.
That's what she was really going out to look for.
They just kept asking me questions.
Did the police interview you, so to speak? Did they ask you questions about your background, Jared's background, his plans that night?
Yep, they asked me what he was wearing, if he had any tattoos. They asked me a lot of questions. I just remember just getting very frustrated that they were asking me things and not answering anything that I was asking of them.
She barely white enough.
Eventually, were you notified that night your husband had died?
I was.
That not only had died, but had been killed?
Stoic.
Yes, I was told that he had been shot.
Did the police give you any information about evidence or leads or suspects that evening?
No, not at all.
Did they ask you any questions about what you thought could have happened that evening?
Yep.
I don't recall them asking me that, but I offered up my own ideas of just my gut instinct. I don't remember them asking me.
Of course they did.
I don't recall.
Of course they would.
That night.
22 years. I'm 22 years in the Houston Police Department. Retired. Yes, they're gonna say, "Do you know anyone that could?" Yes.
Did you direct them to potentially investigate specific individuals?
I did.
And who were those individuals?
Mario Fernandez and Shannon Gardner.
During your marriage with, and I'm going to circle back to that in a moment. We're going to get to how it is you came to offer that information. During your marriage with Mr. Bridegan, did you know him to have any?
Because they all hated each other. And we had talked about this in the last video. You know, you all hated each other. And not saying it's right to commit murder, but what is right is when you're acting badly, bad things can happen. Jared was pushing his luck. It's not about murder. It is, you can say he doesn't deserve to be murdered, but he was not being, I would say, authentically nice or whatever. He was creating problems. They all were.
With any individuals, did you guys have problems with your neighbors, the trees growing into your yard, or somebody from your past that caused you problems that you were in contact with, anything like that?
No, none. Jared was the neighbor that would loan his tools.
Oh, please.
We had no issues with.
Trust and believe. I've heard another side of what this Jared guy is. You know, trust and believe.
Any neighbors, anyone that I knew of.
Did Jared have a large circle of friends?
No.
Yeah, no one liked him. Yeah, exactly.
Jared close with his family and talked to them frequently?
In comparison to how much I talk to my family, I would say no. But
I feel like that's par for the course with husbands versus wives.
Yeah, but he did. He loved his family.
Whatever.
Did Jared have any hobbies that were dangerous, like skydiving or?
He was lazy. He was lazy. I'm pretty sure. That's what I had heard. Just saying.
Vegas and gambling, driving race cars.
No.
Did he go out of town frequently?
Not unless it was a family trip.
Did he travel without you often?
No, I don't think I can recall a trip that he went on without me.
Where was he working at the time of his death?
He was working for Microsoft.
Yeah, she got him the job. I think she got him the job.
Oh.
He sought that out. You know, he kind of. I'd heard he was a kind of a, when he was in high school, they talked about how he would date girls, and because he supposedly had the look, he would get them and dump them, and then, he would use them for a purpose. That's what I
believe he
heard.
Started there October 2021, or it was late 2021.
Where do you work, ma'am?
Where did he work before that?
He worked for Clean Simple Eats.
And what is that?
That's a health and nutrition company, like protein products, macros, meal plans type of company.
Were you working at the time of Jared's death?
No, I had resigned from my corporate job just a few weeks
Where?
prior.
And was that for any particular reason?
We were comfortable on his salary, and I felt strongly about being home with our 2 young children.
2 young children. You
Any
had
kind of
stepkids.
significant financial trouble or debt?
No, we were doing really well, thankfully.
You got him an executive
You
job.
Jared to use drugs.
She got him an executive job at Microsoft. That's why he's working there. So it was so good. Yeah. Anyway.
Drink alcohol to excess.
No, he just really liked Coke Zero.
And you and Jared were you actively involved in your church?
We were.
And did you bring AB and LB and your daughters with you when you went to church, if you had them?
We did, yeah.
To your knowledge, were Ms. Gardner and Mr. Fernandez involved in the Mormon church, or any church really?
No, they were not.
Ms. Gardner at one point had been a member of the Mormon church.
Big
Is that
time.
true?
That's accurate.
And did you and Jared have any kind of difficulties in regards to religion and AB and LB with Ms. Gardner and Mr. Fernandez?
Yes, we did.
But it's fair. I mean, some people don't like a certain religion. I mean, whether you want to be secular or religious, they wanted to, Jared and her wanted to, kind of take a moral high ground. We're gonna do whatever we want, and they're gonna do this, whatever. And you got, anyway.
Was the baptism one of those difficulties?
I mean, there was a little bit of disagreement on a couple of details, but we had a conversation where we were just like, it's kind of strange how calm and agreeable they were to allowing her to be baptized like that. It was very strange to us.
Huh. No, it's strange because
Did AB ever?
they're
do that?
strange because they were nice and they don't know how to be nice.
She did not.
We went down that route with Jared and his job at Microsoft. Do you know if he had any conflicts at work or litigation at work or any
No, he worked at home like a loser. He did it with Shauna too. He lived off of her too.
complaints he was going through?
No, in fact, after his death, his boss and people managed.
So this lady here, I believe, is rich. I believe that did well. She's executive. She was an executive at Microsoft. I believe got him the job. Shauna Gardner, her family owns the arts and crafts store in Utah. They're big. It's big in the Mormon community, and it's worth $200 million. Her family's worth over $200 million. Shauna Gardner. So he married Shauna Gardner for money, and they would get $8,000 to $9,000 a month, just play money or whatever from the family.
And offered condolences. They came to his funeral. Like, there was no.
Did he work at an office or did he work from home?
He worked from home.
Pretty nice, eh?
So on the night that this happened, the police were asking questions about his background. Did you offer some of this information that evening and in the days following?
Yes, I gave them as much as I could.
Did they, in the days following Jared's death, come to your house and ask to look at your firearms and your electronic devices?
Yes, I even asked a friend to come over and help me make sure I found all of that and could get it to them.
But you've had 7 hearings on your phone that you won't give over. You let them walk in your house, but you're not giving up that phone that the judge has ordered you to give up and has had a right to put you in contempt of court, criminal contempt of court. And I don't know if as of this day if she's given it over yet. I think she has, but 7 different hearings. I think it was like 3 orders from the court. The judge was pissed. I don't know what's in that phone she doesn't want them to know about, but she's acting all, oh yeah, I gave up this and they took all the good, but you don't want to give up your phone for some reason. So anyway, but yeah, and then they had to take it to the appellate court because she claimed the judge was ruling wrong. Anyway, but at the end of the day, they're making her give up her phone.
In a timely manner. So yeah, they were at my house a few times.
Did they take Jared's cell phone and his laptop and his work laptop and hard drive and whatever devices that you could identify as belonging to him?
Yeah, they had the cell phone from that night. I never gave that to them. They already had it, but it's a work laptop,
They don't have yours.
old computers that we had, hard drives that I found. I gave it all over to the
Did you
Not your
provide
phone.
them with a list of passwords that you knew Jared to use?
any and all passwords or passcodes that I knew of. I gave to them.
Why won't you give up
Did
your
they
phone?
ask at some point to rip the infotainment system out of Jared's car to see if they could get anything off of that?
Yes, they asked me to sign a release for that, and I did.
I'm gonna go through a couple photographs with you. Let me find my evidence number. First one I'm going to show you has been marked and entered into evidence.
Okay, that's him.
Showing you a photograph that's been marked. and
That's the
entered
shooter. That's the killer.
evidence. That's
Okay. That's phones.
You still live in that home today?
We do.
Seconds into the video, do you recognize that person?
No.
That's a shooter.
And at 38 minutes, 29 seconds, we see a vehicle, and I've circled it here on my screen. You recognize that vehicle?
Yeah, I do.
Whose vehicle is that?
That's our Suburban.
And who's driving it?
I am.
And was that when you came to the Jacksonville Beach Police Station after they called you? Or after they answered the call?
Yes, it is.
State's Exhibit 35, do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is this picture of?
The inside of our Volkswagen app.
All right, all right.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Here we go. We're gonna get some lessons on this one.
Can I stay here? Or would you like me to move? Right.
Is it going to be brief?
I think so.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Ms. Brady.
Good afternoon.
Sorry that you have to be here, okay?
Thank you.
I just have a few questions for you. You had mentioned,
That's always good when dealing with people. The courtrooms are a good place to learn. You know, you don't go, hey, what's up? You know, because he's a defense. He's obviously an adversary to her. But still, hey, sorry for your loss, you know. Because, you know, this is how, you know, when you watch court cases and you watch how people, you know, behave, it can kind of help you in real life, you know what I'm saying? Just like he did, you know, because he's got an agenda to, you know, protect his client, right? And to make sure his client gets a good defense, you know, to the allegations. And she has an agenda to, you know, get justice for her husband. And she thinks, regardless of what the facts are, you know, obviously she's been told that this guy did it. So she's going to be on her the side of the state, you know. But at the end of the day, she lost her husband, and so the lawyer acknowledges that, but he has a job to do, and he's going to cross-examine.
during your direct examination that you thought that, or you were possibly preparing for litigation for whatever reason in and around the time of the homicide. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. The defense in this case, in Exhibit 1A, has put in the entire St. Johns County Family Law Court docket. Do you know what a family law court docket is?
I'm familiar with it, yes.
Sure. So throughout being part of this litigation, you know that when you file a motion or when you have a consent order, it all gets put on the family law court docket, right?
Right.
And when
Now watch her. She's gonna answer this in a smart aleck way and feign. She's going to feign. This is how women are good at psychological warfare. She knows, you know, like better than men, and that's a respect. So, but she's going to answer the question and act like she doesn't know what he wants to hear. Okay, and she's gonna, and so she can get a little a passive aggressive punch to the stomach.
are you familiar when the case was closed?
After Jerry was murdered, I'm assuming.
Boom, right there. No, see, she got that out right there. That's a smart ass remark, acting like feigning misunderstanding. Yeah, when he was murdered, as a case closed. No, he was asking prior to that, and it was closed, by the way. See, she's so caught up in the mess or whatever. The case was closed. The custody battle was over.
Well, after Jared was murdered, there was a suggestion of death, which is what lawyers do to say that one party is no longer with us. But before that, your case was closed.
See, look at she got a little smirk on her face. By the way, see kind of, you know, she's coming forward like that's a challenge. By the way, and also, but did you see the way the lawyer took a back frame in that? Because he starts explaining to her, well, no, you're kind of right. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't go, hey, you're wrong. You're kind of right, and he starts kind of, you know, educating her, teaching her. Well, lawyers do this, and he took back the frame, and that's how you take back the frame.
Or meaning the case of Shanna Gardner and Jared Brightigan. Did you know that?
See a little smirk?
I don't think it's ever really closed because you just file a motion and it's.
No, see, it's closed until you file a motion. She's feigning misunderstanding, and this is a weasel. That's a weasel right there. I'm just saying, you got to recognize. But women are deaf, but she's playing coy. This is passive aggressive, but understand passive aggressive, and that's the way women like to fight because it's glancing blows, but it is aggression on you.
All up again.
It can start up again, but then they close it when you're done.
For that point in time.
May I approach the witness, Sean?
See, she's feigning misunderstanding, but the lawyers will, and a lot of times when you are, he has to argue because it's cross-examination. If this was going on in a regular argument with a woman or whatever, your wife, girlfriend, you need to disengage, you know. But anyway, she's feigning misunderstanding. But the lawyer has better understanding of the law, where he's going to school her. She's being inauthentic. The lawyer's being authentic, and 9 times out of 10, 99.9 times out of 10, if you're being authentic, you'll beat someone trying to be manipulative and nasty.
Yes.
But this is psychological warfare, and it looks coy, it looks nice. Women are great at that, and that is respect to
Can you
them.
look at October 12th of 2021, where it says that a consent order was reached and the case was closed?
Heard this line? Seriously. You're doing this one?
Yes, ma'am. The ones you were reporting to are later dates. I'm asking you on 10/12/2021, it suggests that a reopened case is now closed, right?
Yes, there's a couple of entries like that.
Right. Meaning in October of 2021, the family law case was closed.
It says reopened case closed, yes.
Because it was reopened when Miss Gardner filed, and what's also in evidence, a mother's motion for declaratory relief. That was right below the line, correct?
I would have to, sorry, I was looking at just that line.
Feigning misunderstanding.
Mother
She could
filed
just
a motion,
take his word for it.
right?
Yes,
Okay, and then right above that, the parties came to an agreement, a consent order, right?
yes,
And then the case is closed.
yes,
And that's October of 2021.
yes.
Thank you.
Boom, baby. Just and here's the thing: when you're right, you know, you don't want to argue with a woman, but if you have to or whatever, just stick with. Do not follow them in their argument. Do not stick with what you're trying. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the case being closed. Can you read it? Whatever. He's sticking to. You don't follow him around. What about this? The what about him? The what if? The what about? No. Stick to your plan. No one takes you off your plan.
I'm not going to be asking you very many questions, so I want to skip around. But one of the things that I thought would be important for the jury to know is that after your husband passed, the next day, did Miss Gardner invite you over into her home so that you could be present when she delivered the news to Mr. Brightigan?
She did not. I asked to be there.
Okay. And when you asked, she said yes.
That's correct.
See, right there. She did. So the technical term is she did invite you into her home. Yeah. Because when you asked to be there, and that again is passive aggressive. You know, You wouldn't even go on date nights, chick. Anyway, but with the kids. So, but anyway, yeah, no. She's like, "Can I come?" Yes. I can say no and shut you out my house, or I can invite you in my home and say, "Yeah, you can be here while I do this." That is passive aggressive, and that is feigned misunderstanding. And she's trying to take over the frame. This is what women do, and this is respect. It's not talking crap. Look at her continue to try to take over the frame. I asked, and then he came back with, "Well, didn't she invite you know?" So
It came from your suggestion that you wanted to be there.
I wanted someone who loved Jared and the kids to be present when his children were informed of his murder. Yes.
oh, another. That's wicked right there. That's what. Did you hear that? I want someone that loved Jared because you guys don't. You guys, well, I don't know if anyone has an ex that they didn't get along with, and it's not so much It's just that's a low blow. They were married. They were whatever. And from what I understand, he earned a lot of that dislike. He earned a lot of that.
Into that.
Jared did.
And you went to the home where Miss Gardner was in Jacks Beach at Marshland Inlet, correct?
I did.
And Mr. Fernandez was there?
He was.
Miss Gardner was there?
She was.
And you were there?
I was.
Did you bring someone with you?
I brought my dad.
And you all delivered the news together, correct?
I was present while Shanna delivered.
And she brings her father. You know what I'm saying? By the way, she didn't bring her mother. Fathers are good. But you're bringing a stranger into the home. I don't know him. So they are playing nice.
Yes.
As you requested.
Yes.
And then lastly, Ms. Brightigan, you had suggested to the jury that on the night of the homicide, you were asked questions by law enforcement, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And to your knowledge, I think you know now, none of that was recorded, correct?
I take your word for it. I don't know.
They've had depositions. I mean, this is 4 years ago, and they've had depositions. This is feigned. These are aggressive tactics, but they're passive aggressive tactics.
It's being or not.
Okay.
Feigned misunderstanding.
Take
Feigned.
my word for it. It wasn't recorded.
Okay.
But you did tell them, in so many words, you may want to look at Shanna Gardner or Mario Fernandez.
Yeah, I believe I said something along those lines that only people I knew had a problem with him were those two.
But you also told them that there was no violence or threats of violence that you could articulate or that you were aware of.
I don't recall if I said that night.
You looked at a report from the police with
I mean, had there been threats of violence? And the answer is going to be no. Now, if he's presumed innocent, but if he did it, okay. But he could have snapped, and now all of a sudden they did a stupid plan. But prior to that, I think they, if you just want to get I think they messed up, and I think they're good people, but they made a mistake in doing this, right? A big mistake, obviously. No one deserves to be killed. But no, they're not violent people, so why is she having any trouble with that? She knows they're not violent. She knows she's never been threatened.
your recollection.
Yeah, definitely.
Hold on one second.
See, now they got to go and get this report, and although they probably should have been prepared for this, but I think they thought that she'd be more, they didn't realize how nasty she was going to be. This is a nasty chick, as far as you watch her tactics. These are dirty tactics. It's not authentic. It doesn't move the case at all. Just tell the truth. And this is this is trying to fog the truth.
maybe an easier way, instead of waiting to find that report, Ms. Bredigan. You didn't articulate to them that you had been threatened by Mr. Fernandez.
No, I did not.
You didn't tell them that Shanna Gardner had threatened you or your husband, right?
No, I did not.
Exactly.
That's because
Exactly.
You had no information that they had threatened you or they had done anything violent to you or Jared Bredigan up until that night.
Correct.
Yeah, we're moving on.
Yes.
That's two Mike. They're done. All right. Well, that's what we're gonna get. We'll leave it there on that one. I like the defense attorney. I like both of them. I think he's represented well. Anyway, yeah, that's watch out. Do not argue with women, but they are deft at psychological warfare, and that's why you do not argue with them. All right, that's all for this one. See you on the next one.